Hello everybody, it's Micha Green, AFRO Washington DC editor, and last week I got a chance to catch up with the cast of Harriet, Tony Award-winning actors CYNTHIA Erivo and Leslie Odom Jr. Check out the interview. I went back and got my master's in broadcast journalism to do a little thing called entertainment journalism. Cool. So figuring that out now, but I have to play a word association game with you all. So you guys know how it goes. Say the word and you say what word comes to your mind first. Okay. Make sense? And we're rolling already, right?
Yes.
Okay. Let us go. All right. Light.
Darkness.
Dark.
Okay. Water.
Desert.
Rain.
Secrets.
Lies.
Loud.
Family.
Happiness.
Time.
Trees.
Air.
Bond. Oh, sorry.
Leaves.
Got it. Bondage.
Is this interesting? Is this good stuff?
No, it's good stuff.
Are we doing?
You're doing great.
Are you going to analyze this after the tell?
All the
Please
way.
tell me.
I actually have a psychiatrist.
Thank you.
Oh my
Wait,
gosh.
okay, great.
To
All right,
really
good.
get in the brain.
All right, please tell. Okay, so where are we?
We're on bondage. We're on bondage.
Chains.
S&M.
Love
You
it.
were gonna say that, and I
Love
was trying
it.
not to say that myself because I was like, "Is that gonna say something about me?" Okay.
Absolutely. No,
Okay.
it's awesome. Slavery.
Stain.
Bitter.
Freedom.
Joy.
Rider.
Superhero.
Harriet.
Harry.
And the last word is Harriet.
Superhero.
Minty.
Yeah.
Awesome. Awesome. That's a great one. We were told to pose and say Minty in front of the mural yesterday, and someone was like, not her slave name. and the historian cleared it all up for us. So, well, thank you for playing this game. Let's dive right on in. So you all are working with biographical characters, and I'm interested on how you were able to bring life and bring, your own stories to these characters and have so much truth, having not lived in the 1800s into the early 1900s.
He's got more experience in this than I do.
Yeah, this is not your first biographical role.
Yeah, for me, I think you gather as much of the facts as you possibly can. What I found the last time I did this was, I did start to feel a little bogged down with the facts a little bit. At a certain point, I was like, I was reading very, very specific moments in his life, and I'm like, where can I inject that in the performance? It's not in the script, but what if I put that in this part when I'm standing in the dark in the back and I play this moment, and then I had to realize, like, I'm not presenting an Aaron Burr book report. I'm not on screen presenting a William Still book report. So you take in as much of the facts of the life as you possibly can, and then at the end of the day, you have to make it, immediate, and so you have to bring them as close as possible to you, and that's through all the things that they wanted, because the things that they wanted and the way that they wanted them is not very different than what we want. It's desire, it's lust, it's passion, it's rage, it's the need for justice. All those things we can relate to, and so we're just wearing different clothes, but we want the same thing.
I guess with all the prep work that you do and all the physical work and all the research, there's only so much you can do until you get on set. When you get on set, there's the script. You have the script, and when you're lucky enough to have Casey at the helm of that, and she's done all the research herself, and everything in the script is pretty much as true as it can be. My job is then to fill it with humanity and fill it with a human being, put the human being on the page, because we have the story, and that's one thing. We have the picture, fine, and now we have to put the living being in. And so I search for the things that make her human. I search for the love that she had with her husband. I search for the ingenuity in hiring a lawyer. I search for those things. To run 100 miles means that you need to be able to run. So then what does she look like when she runs? And how does that feel as her? Because I know how I run. I know how Belle from Widows runs. I know how these people run, but how does she move? It's, you know, finding the rhythm of the person, finding how the person stands, moves, holds their face. Why do they have a downturned mouth? Does she look like she's scowling? Does she save the smiles for certain people? Like, it's all of those things that I search for. That's how you fill it with, like, life and truth.
That's so interesting, because I'm thinking about one thing I noticed so much is that there's this furrowed brow that you brought, that, you know, I've seen your work, and I don't see it anywhere else.
Yeah.
And I looked back at photos of Harriet later, and I'm like, that's Harriet. That was all Harriet.
Yeah.
Awesome. Okay, makes sense. Thanks. So I'm interested because a lot of you all's relationship on camera had to deal with doubt and combating doubt. And yesterday, before I'd seen the film, Arcia Dyson, Michael Eric Dyson's wife, said to me during the tour, fear is antithetical to the Black person. And neither of you all were really scared, per se, as characters, but there was you had a very strong sense of doubt, and you did have a sense of fear, and yet having to combat it. So I want to know your relationship to fear and combating it in both of your work as your characters, and then in relation to the film in general.
You wanna go first?
Let's see what you say. I'm interested in what you say.
Well, I think that you know, what I dealt with William was less about the fear. I mean, you know, I'll deal with how he felt about Harriet in a second, but it was less about the fear, you know, in the work that he was doing. I thought he might be drawn to the adventure. I thought he might be drawn to the excitement of the danger of it. You know what I mean? He's a young man, and this is, you know, he's on the front lines of the revolution, and like, not all of that is drab. Like, there's a reason why young people are drawn to those moments, because they are romantic and fun, and they, like, you know, you're planning, you're plotting with people, and, you know, you feel your life, you feel, right? But you know, I think with Harriet, you know, he underestimated her.
Yeah.
He misread her, and I knew that Cynthia, the actress, and Harriet would have some fun in him, you know, with sort of batting him around, in him underestimating her. So, but yeah, I think for sure, he looks at this small framed woman, you know, who he thinks got lucky. You know, she really survived a lot of things. Like, you don't want to really go back and do that again. You can't be serious, and of course she's very, very serious.
Over and over.
Yeah. And I think you know, it's that beautiful line in where she says, you've never had this stink of fear, this stink of running for your life. And it is just as simple as that. The fact is, yes, she is ready to die if she doesn't gain freedom, but there is, you know, as a human being, the want to stay alive, you know, the want to make it to the other side, and the fear that someone is coming at your back anytime soon. And I think it's part of her makeup. Not that it rules her. It's not the first thing that it's not the thing that drives her. It's not the thing that stops her. But it is something that lingers in her, and it leaves when she knows that she can make it back. I think it leaves when she knows that it's not useful to her. When she's made that first trip and she's gotten to where she needs to be, the fear is of no use to her because she can't lead other people through that.
Right.
You know? So it's both part of her journey and the way in which she puts that part of her journey aside to bring on something else, which is confidence and force of will and determination. And as a person, you know what fear feels like. It's when, it's as in the simplest form, when you are unfamiliar with something, you don't know if it's going to work, and you think it might go wrong. Mm-hmm. It's the butterflies that you get. It's the heart racing that we get, and I think that might drive you forward to do something great sometimes. Yeah.
Awesome. Well, I know we have to wrap. Just last question.
Yes.
What is your definition of freedom having done this film?
The space to do and move freely without anyone watching or telling you no, or that you can't, and the idea that the roles you make are your own and not someone else's, that there is no fear of getting in trouble if a mistake is made, you know. I guess those are the things that make up freedom for me.
Thank you. Leslie.
Is liberty. It is deciding how you want to spend your day, how you want to spend your time, who you want to spend that time with. Nobody should have to make the choice to live free or die. It shouldn't be the choice anybody has to make. And so life without that as a part of it.
Awesome. Thank you so much. Really appreciate it. Thank you.